First, I want to explain something to Adrian Peterson. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, LaShawn McCoy are your colleagues. The guy that signs your check, his colleagues are Mr. Bob Kraft, the Maras, the Rooneys. A colleague is a peer, a guy that's equal to you. So it's not, we're talking amongst colleagues. If I call Skip Bayless is a colleague of mine. The guy that signs Skip and I's check, he's not a colleague. The guy that signs the check at another network that have a show similar to ours, they're colleagues. Jerry Jones is brazen and really cavalier to take that call in front of a reporter. Because basically what he's saying is, I don't care. He knows he should not be having conversations of this magnitude with a player from another team that's under contract. He knows that. He admits, I didn't report it. I didn't tell the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't tell the National Football League. See, Jerry's problem is, he's the problem. He hires a chef to cook, but then tells him what to cook and how to cook it. See,
meaning the not the literal chef.
Nothing right. He hires a coach.
Because he might tell the literal chef how to cook.
He hires a head coach, then tells him who to hire on his staff, who to play, how to play, what they should be running.
There's some of that going on.
See, when he had Jimmy, see, when you win Super Bowl, Skip, everybody wants more credit than they deserve. The guy that cuts the grass on the field, he thinks I was the reason they won the Super Bowl. The janitorial service, the people that prepare the food, I played a big hand in that. Jerry Jones wanted a bigger stake because Jimmy was getting so much of the credit, he just can't let it go. And now, he's been doing it. I saw his business card. Owner, general manager, CEO. And guess what? All those titles, he has nothing to show basically since Jimmy left. Skip, it's not going to change.
They did win the next year, you remember.
Yeah, with Jimmy players. I could have coached that team to a Super Bowl.
Really?
Yes.
You could have done.
I disagree
you doubt
with that.
You doubt that?
That was a very difficult team to handle.
Okay, think about it.
Think of the egos you had in that locker room. Dion, Michael, Emmett, Troy, those are huge egos.
I talk to Michael Irvin all the time.
So do I.
And I say the best thing, I am so happy Jerry fired Jimmy. I don't like to get into conjecture or speculation. But there's no question in my mind, if Jimmy Johnson is the coach of that football team,
I agree with
they
that.
win 4 or 5, maybe even because they were young and he trimmed the fat. They came to work. He drove them every single day. And then Jerry, on the way, we had a good restaurant going. We were cooking this, some little pot roast. We had little ribs and a couple of burgers. And then here comes Jimmy coming in. He wants to fry fish.
Okay.
And now my restaurant's gone downhill since.
So the topic is what should
the NFL should. The NFL should.
Shannon has now pushed all of my buttons.
I saw you sit biting your lip.
I must say publicly, I wrote a whole book about what you're talking about. And trust me on this, who was the key addition that helped the 1992 Dallas Cowboys win the first Super Bowl? They would not have won without Charles Haley. Thank you very much. Who engineered and drove home the trade for Charles Haley against Jimmy's best wishes? Jerry Jones. He initiated it with Carmen Policy, a rival within the conference, and pulled it off. And Jimmy was like, I can't coach that. I can't coach that guy because San Francisco couldn't coach that guy.
Right.
And, so that's a whole nother issue. So you got to give him a little bit of credit.
But he wants more than he's deserving of.
Wait,
Back to the topic.
What did you say the NFL should do?
They should fine him.
Okay.
The NFL should do nothing to Jerry Jones because this is one big much ado about nothing. Let us reconstruct here. This was a basic pie-in-the-sky, pipe dream, bizarre phone call from Adrian Peterson to someone in Jerry's luxury box before a George Strait concert at Jerry World. And a friend walks up while Don Vanata is standing there, and the friend says, hey, Jerry, check this out. Hello? It's Adrian Peterson. Well, Jerry's kind of a prisoner at that point. Now, by the letter of the law, you're supposed to then hang up the phone and call the Vikings and said, you can't believe what just happened. Adrian Peterson just called me. Yeah. Jerry, ever the gracious host in his luxury box, tries to kind of get through a conversation with a guy he really admires, a kid who's he's 29 years old now, but an Adrian Peterson from the state of Texas, who would love to finish his career with the Dallas Cowboys. Unfortunately, Adrian Peterson has 4 years left on his Vikings contract at about $16 million a year. So he's so under contract that it's pipe dream to even talk about playing for the Cowboys, because at that point, if he lasts through that contract, they could cut him halfway through it, who knows. But how long is Adrian Peterson, a high collision back, going to last in this league? How realistic is it that he would soon join the Dallas Cowboys? Not realistic at all. Sometimes you have to take into account mitigating circumstances, and the circumstances are so bizarre. Why would Adrian Peterson call a friend of his who just happened to be in Jerry's luxury box, and Jerry's handed the telephone? He's like, hello?
What?
That's Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. So
you're going to fine him for that?
So you
really?
You want me to believe on one Thursday night, Adrian Peterson happens to pick up a phone, calls a guy that just so happens to be at a George Strait concert in Jerry Jones' box. Jerry Jones happens to be there. They say,
don't ask me, ask Adrian. I don't know.
They say too many coincidences aren't coincidences.
Yeah, exactly.
So are you suggesting Jerry initiated this long before?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm saying he broke the rules under the letter of the law.
Is Adrian Peterson about to be a free agent?
That's beside the point.
4 years.
Skip.
It's ludicrous.
It doesn't matter whether or not he's going to be a free agent. You cannot have talks to a player on another team that's under contract. Did he break the rules? Do you really believe that the NFL will fine him for this little episode? I do not.